Soulful means something that's heartfelt, deep and profound. To journey means to travel from one place to another. This show is about deep and heartfelt discussions about where we are, where we're headed, and where we've been. It's a place where we highlight memorable moments we've had. This show is about everything and everyone that is good for the soul.
Welcome to another edition of Soulful Journey. I am your host, Venus Jones, and I am so glad that you could join us today. We are in our 15th episode, and I am so grateful that you would be here. So the first thing we like to do is take a deep breath and focus on that breath, because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So if you'll take a deep breath with me. Just for 1 minute. Focus on that breath. Feel yourself breathing in and feel yourself breathing out. Without trying to control your pattern of breathing. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. And notice how every breath is different from the next, ever changing, ever evolving. And whatever is going through your mind right now, you can let it slip away. And just for this moment, you can come back to harmony, because you are safe, you are accepted, you are forgiven, and you are loved. So thank you once again, and I am so excited. I will have an amazing guest, and you might hear a little jingle, jingle, bell rock, because I got on my ugly sweater today, and we are celebrating the holidays with family and friend. And her name is Yolanda, Jett, and I'm so happy to introduce her to you because of that. She is an amazing family and friend of mine. I like to call her my cousin, but she's also like my sister and, again, my friend. So welcome, Yolanda.
Shay, thank you.
Thank you for being here today. And I just want to share a little bit with people about who you are in the world. Just so if you don't know, if you haven't had a chance to check her out on our Soulful Journey page, she is an Army veteran. She lives and works in the DC metropolitan area. She's a lifetime learner and crown adjuster. I love that. Love your crown too.
Thank you.
She's currently working on her bachelor's in graphic design, and her favorite quote is by Maya Angelou, somebody who's my shero too. And Maya once said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." So yes, welcome. Tell me, oh my gosh, why is that your favorite quote? Let's start there.
Well, Maya, come on now.
Yes.
Queen Maya. RIP. But yes, Maya always she always seems to gather her words in such a way in which that are beautiful, but also makes you think about the pain of what one might be going through.
Yes.
To achieve, those words that she was able to attach to that beauty, of that pain. So she describes pain in such a beautiful way to me. Her own story, of course, shapes all of that. So I think, I love Maya Angelou.
I love Maya too. And Maya was a poet. And for those who are watching who don't know much about me, I'm a poet too. I'm a poet, author of a book called Sheroes, Shameless plug. Okay, we know Maya was all about I rise despite it all. And this year, we have all rose to the challenge. 2020.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. What's
surviving 2020? We all had to recite and still.
Yeah.
Okay. And become the butterfly. Okay.
Yes. And still trying to.
Right. We it's not through yet, but you know what? We are still here. We give thanks. I'm sipping on my wine.
Hey.
You got some wine too? Hey, I love it. So yes, that's a shout out to our other cousin Tia. And we're gonna talk about family ties today and just what happens where that pain comes from. Because sometimes, unfortunately, it can be family inflicted. But and folks who we thought was our friends and family, they were not. But you know what? During the holidays, I want to talk. We'll be diving deep about relationships of obligation and how we can truly find and strengthen family ties. But when I was thinking about the subject matter today, I was also it took me back because you were like, yeah, let's talk about family ties. Let's talk about family bonds. And normally when I start this, I got a little nervous because sometimes, it's funny. Like I can have people on who don't know me, but somebody who really knows me and like knows me over the years, this feels a little weird and more nervous. I don't know why, but I feel a little bit more nervous because you've been knowing me for so long. And it reminded me because when I do the show, I start with a poem or a song or something that reminds me of the person that I'm having on as a guest. So I wanted to share something with you from my Pinball Machine 13 poetry collection about when I was 13. You may remember this story because you were there. Okay. You ready?
You ready? Yes.
I call this little section of the book it's 13 lines, 13 stanzas and 13 syllables in each line. Oh. So I call this one Practice, Slide, and Save. Because pinball, if you don't know, a pinball is it was like a little ball that in the 80s that was in this machine, a pinball machine, and you bounced it around. So sometimes I felt a little bounced around, but I was a military brat. We'll get into that too later when we like Yolanda was too. We grew up together. So when we weren't, just bouncing around, we were trying to stay out of trouble. And this day I didn't do so well. So what led up to that is this little quick story that Yolanda can understand because she was there.
I bet I know what it is. Good.
So yeah, practice the pinball and pedal. Actually, that's the real title. My bad. I was reading the other side. Practice the pinball and pedal. Why you a goody two shoes all the time? Shelly asked. Click. Babysitting has been challenged. Londa, let's go. House keys, check. Jacket, check. Lock the door, check. Check you out. Breezy blue skies and knobby knees. Paddling past signs. Weather changes quick. And Londa's laughing, but you're not. You're halfway now. We need to turn around. It's sprinkling. Oh no, your hair can't get wet. 1 block left. It's pouring. You turn. You pedal to the metal. Face frozen. Cold. Jacket. Useless. You can't escape the pounding. Oh God. Wrestling with the keys, only to slip and slide. Hurry up! You're soaked in fear, crying out loud. Can we fix it? Change clothes, grab the towel and straightening comb, turn on the stove. You press, sear, sear. and a fried chunk of fro falls out.
Oh my! I knew I knew it. I was like, she's about to go there. I remember because I was like, oh my gosh, what a day! What a day that was.
You remember?
Of course, I remember. How could I ever forget?
The day I tried to fix it because we had just got our hair pressed, or I had just got mine pressed.
I'm pretty sure I had to.
And I remember the butt whooping, but yeah, I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah,
got a story to tell.
Yeah, so for those of you who can relate.
Right.
When me and Venus were younger, much younger, you said that was when you were 13?
I was around 13. I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So press and curls. Oh my gosh, that was the wave, right? That was the fresh, that kitchen beautician. Our grandmother got it in, and yeah. There was no time to waste. Okay, so when you got your hair pressed and curled, listen, water was not.
It was not your friend.
It was not an option. So the fear. I don't know why I was laughing. Probably because out of fear.
It was probably a nervous laughter.
I'm sure out of fear, but
first of all, you gotta understand. I was supposed to be babysitting you. I wasn't supposed to letting you go nowhere. We were supposed to be in the house.
We were
over to Yolanda's house. That was not what we were supposed to be doing. But anyway.
What a good memory.
And I give thanks for you because it just happened.
There's nothing like being in trouble with somebody else.
Exactly.
It goes a little smoother when you're in the same boat with somebody else.
So true. And I don't know. I know I'm a little older than you, but what I was thinking about this song too. So I'm gonna play a song from the 80s too that might take you back. Let me play something for you. Let me do that. Okay. So I'm gonna remove my stuff and you. And I want y'all to listen to it.
And I bet we'll be together for a million more. Oh, it's like I started breathing on the night we kissed. And I can't remember what I ever did before. But we do, baby.
Do you remember this song?
Yes, I do. You are just like you got me thinking about stuff I haven't thought about in a long time.
What would we do, baby, without us? Sha-la-la-la. Okay, so if you don't know, that song is from a show called Family Ties, and it had and I did not know until recently when I was researching that song, looking at it, I was like, oh, Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams sang that? I didn't even know they sang. But it was a beautiful song. And what would we do without each other, right? Like family, real family, like the ones that you can count on, they're just definitely about it. And I think one other thing that we relate to, because I mean, like even before this call, I was like, I was messing with you, or you was messing with me. You was like, where is the link? Or what's going on? And I was like, yeah, hold on, soldier. You started laughing. And I was like, at ease. And you just said at ease and great. So I said something to you. And what did you say?
I said standing by.
Always standing by. And that's what real true family do. And that makes me laugh too. Because we stand by and we look out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to thank you for that, because you've been here this year too, and to lift my spirits here and there, and I appreciate you. And I just want the whole world to know. So, But I gotta get into soul chat questions, and like this is that time that we really just ask for every guest to like share something though, right? Like, do you have like we have a show and tell segment where you can share something
Yes.
that means something dear to you? Do you have anything close by that you have?
I do. So I have been, I think it was last year, there was this thing for Black businesses going on Instagram where Black businesses were really heavily promoting themselves. So I got these earrings from the same person, and I cannot.
It says locked because you got locks.
Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I got this hat made, and it says "We been magic." I could have easily said "I've been magic," right? But that's not how we gather, you know. So I wanted to say "We been magic" because I just believe in this. Our whole Black. I'm sorry. I think my mirror is, but I just
like Lisa says. No, I can see it really well.
Okay,
wow, let me see it. It look cute on you, just a little bit. But but them locks is even cuter. But yes, magic.
Yeah. So,
well, I think you're supposed to say
like one of my favorite hats. Yeah,
we've been magic.
We've been magic. Yeah, don't even worry about it. We got this.
You're gonna make it through 2020 when you really trust and believe that affirmation. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And who's the person?
Her name is her handle is My Melanin Crafts.
Oh,
on Instagram, and she does have a website also.
Oh, okay, so I'm glad to know because we do want to support. I practice Kwanzaa, so Ujamaa is coming up, and which means economics. So sometimes some people haven't spent money with Black businesses all year, so you want to look for places and spaces to support.
Absolutely.
Yes, and yeah, you can always support your girl too. Hello, I got a business.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Listen, you was already talking about merch. The merch, girl.
You need some poetry. You need some books.
Yes.
Albums. I got the Kwanzaa bundle. Y'all best to get with
it.
Those.com skirt.
Which is coming up, right? Kwanzaa.
Yeah, but no, seriously, I'm spreading hope and healing, but I love the people that spreading fashion and making you look good. So that's cute.
Yes.
That's really cute. Well, I just feel like you may have something else. What does your shirt say?
It says love.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Do you hear me rocking?
Yes. And I got
feel like this is an ugly shirt.
It's not ugly though.
It's supposed to be my ugly sweater, but especially for people that like dogs that look like
right.
Some people say them dogs is ugly, but that's why. Well, I want to ask. I want to dive deeper into our topic now.
Okay.
Family ties, and you don't have to say any names, but I'm just trying to think. Like, is there? Has there ever been a situation where you had an issue with a family member around the holidays or any time that you got a chance to fix it or come back to it, and how did that happen? Like, because I know this can be hard for some people, like when you got to sit across the table, but this year it's a little different, but there's still spaces people are meeting virtually, and I just don't know if there's any anything that you have advice for anybody who might be trying to create amends, or have you ever?
I think one of the biggest setbacks that we usually have around the holidays is trying to figure out where we're going to be. And I try to evenly spread because, of course, my husband Brian, he has a stepmother and his parents are divorced, and of course my parents are divorced. So it's like 4 families that we're trying to spread. Trying to spend the holidays with, whether that's Thanksgiving or Christmas. And it seems like the dads are always cool, but I always feel like that's not fair just because they're okay with it, So there was a little bit of a because actually our last Christmas that I got it was the best, right?
And what I think you're saying is that there was someone, maybe a possible female relative, who was not down because they wanted to stick with the normal tradition of doing it their way.
Right.
And y'all wanted to spend time with some other family.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's friction.
Yeah. Sometimes it causes a little friction. But that's okay. You gotta just say, you gotta go with your gut sometimes. And me most of the time, because my gut talks to me a lot.
Stick to your gut.
Yeah, just stick to your guns. Feelings are what they're gonna be regardless. But all you can do is just talk about it and move forward.
Yeah,
and it's the best. Talking about it. The real reason of a person could be upset. It can't be just because it's the holidays. I get that people want to see you and everything, but this year is definitely going to be different. Like I haven't been able to see anybody.
And that's why I really am so grateful too for that Christmas, because we spent time together, and we normally don't spend time together like that. Mm-hmm. But now that we're in this situation where you're not, it's not recommended to be. I'm so grateful.
Yes.
For that trip.
Yes.
So I think that this year, more than anything, one thing I can't, no matter your gripes, your hopefully your just things that are keeping people apart, hopefully you can think about how much is really worth, because this is the day, this is the time more than any. I feel like that if there's somebody that you keep thinking about, I'm not thinking about them folks that we ain't studying, okay? But I'm talking about the ones that you really thinking about. You're like, man, I really need to make amends because life is too short. Yeah. Follow that gut instinct and give them a call. Reach out is what I'm thinking, right? Like, and say what you need to say, like you said. I don't know what she said to you or what you had to come back home and say, look, but it was worth it.
Right.
Is that what you said? You came back and was like, look, I know you wanted us to spend time with you. Is that how it went down? Or
well, it was just almost like, because I always try to like put out there like where I'm going to be early, so there is no.
Oh, so you just set your boundaries and let people know.
Like, listen, this is where I'm going to be.
You can notice. You don't ask permission. Okay. All right. Some folks ain't even there yet. We got to slow you down. How did you get like that?
Listen, I try to listen because it's like even when you do that, people are still like expecting you to change.
True.
They expect you to pivot just because, you know what I mean? But it's just like, hey, this is what's going on. This is how I've planned this, and this is going down.
That's your military training. What was your highest rank? That boss. What was your highest rank? Because I have a feeling you not. That's not your first time telling folks how it's going down.
I got out as sergeant.
See,
yeah. So,
skills.
But yeah, I don't know if it was that, but they do teach you a lot to communicate firmly, early, so there is no confusion. But a lot of people aren't used to people being that way, Yeah, especially, I try to plan everything out early.
Oh, I know, because you was on live before me.
I try to plan because I was like, look, I'm getting this lighting right. I'm getting this. There is going to be
excellence. Tell them to put you up there. But no, it's important, right? Because it is true. We have to plan out. But that communication is so key when it comes to family. It is so key. And learning how to communicate I want to do more workshops on it. I want to do more just helping people understand the importance of how to have those confrontations, not confrontations.
Yes.
How do you talk to people? Because people think they know how to talk.
Right.
Until, and somebody, I saw one quote that said that, everybody grown until it's time to communicate.
Well,
and that's so real. And even myself who studies it, I just, I know it's not as easy. And I just want to just be there for people, make sure that this show is really just about helping people remember how to strengthen family. And I feel one of the things we've done this year, we did have some Zoom calls that I thought were great. And what did you get out of those? And what do you think the biggest lesson of that was that you got?
The last one we did with, man, life is short, but life is also long. And I think, we have an example of that. People always say life is so short, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's short when you live fast, but life is also long. And it's just, I guess it's all in your perspective, but we have an example of 100 years. We know, we really can see.
Years old. Yes.
Yes, we see what 100 years looks like on this earth, and what that looks like, what that, what's to be expected.
Yeah.
And how people really respect. That's a level. That's levels. That's levels.
And when I think of the caregivers, though, who are taking care of her, and others caregivers, especially right now during such a, I just feel like it's really long when you don't know what is next. Always like you and I, like we getting around right now, but anything could happen. You don't have to live to 100 for something to happen to you, where somebody, because the person who raised us, who was our matriarch, grandmother, mother, everybody call her mother, whether and she's such a strong symbol for so long of a woman who we look to, who was independent and proud to be independent. So I know what I'm trying to say is that that's why I always preach Interdependence Day. Like on Independence Day, I say interdependence, because we really are all interdependent. And I feel like, it gets really long when depending on how you see life. So you have to change and change your perspective. If you ever get in a situation where somebody might be taking care of you. But I know she always taught me that. She was like, you don't know who you're going to need.
Always. She would say that always.
She would say that all the time. You don't know who you're going to need.
Who you're going to have to need and depend on. Yeah.
And that's so true. And that goes back to, again, how the reason why we strengthen family ties.
That is a word from somebody who literally was like, listen, I got all of this.
I know.
I don't need,
Yeah.
nothing and nobody to help me.
Yeah. And it's such an eye opener for us that you just don't know.
Yeah.
And that's when life can be very, very long. But she's still here for some reason.
Yeah.
Us, everybody. At the sound of my voice right now, we here for a reason, because folks are leaving here, and she always used to say too. She might outlive us all, I feel like.
I know. I'm like, man.
I know.
But it's such an amazing perspective to have that visualization of that, because you always hear about people 100, 105, 100 this, 100 that. But it's just like, we have that. You know what I'm saying? We claim it. You know what I'm saying? We could actually say, okay, that could be us.
Could be.
You know what I mean?
Longevity is in your blood.
We can only.
Longevity in your blood. Go back to that magic.
Man. But yeah, it was good to see, just put your eyes on family and people, the extensions, of of your little cousins on cousins on cousins, and it's amazing.
And there were people there that I didn't even know.
Right.
It was so cool to see people like, well, whose baby is that?
Yeah, I was like, who's that?
So again, like, invite everybody to your Zoom call. Have a, don't feel sad. You can still meet together with your family. You can still have these calls. And guess what? Let go of perfection. Because me and Londa were in the call like, man, this is not the way we would have done everything, or things might have been a little different if we was. But that's the beauty of family, is everybody can get a chance to lead, and we can still learn. I still learn.
Yes.
Something.
Yes.
Because everybody's not gonna lead the way you lead it.
Right.
But I think that it's important to be in the room and let people be in there, that you care. That you care.
Yeah.
That you care about family, and you care about them seeing you there, and letting you know that you can be somebody that they can lean on, and just like showing up. And then maybe you don't even know what to say, right, Londa?
Yeah. It was a lot to say.
Maybe with so many people talking about it.
But I think that was the excitement.
It's we tried to get our cousin Snoopy to mute some folks. He was like, no. If y'all want to mute nobody. He was like, no, I am not muting nobody.
Like, okay.
Right. You had to talk over each other.
Because I wanted to hear. I couldn't really hear what Mother was saying.
I know.
And I was just like, well, is she saying something? I really can't hear. And then it was just kind of like everybody was just kind of talking. But I think a lot of that was just the excitement and like people seeing people that haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And, but I was excited to see everybody. I'm glad everybody's doing well, because of course, people have been getting hit with COVID-19, and I personally don't know anybody in our family that's
been hit by it,
have been affected by that. But if so,
but I have some on my husband's side. We lost somebody on my husband's side.
Yeah,
family with it, and then another good friend of mine, he just lost his mom last week.
Wow, yeah,
we were in Ohio, yeah.
Man.
So it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we give thanks so that we just staying safe as much as we can.
Yeah.
And wow. Yeah. So yeah, I just think that just even sharing stories. I can't believe I've never read that poem to you.
Well, when you started reading it, you did. Because I was like, I heard this.
It was coming back to you. Okay.
You know where you performed that at? I want to say you performed that at you performed it somewhere. I don't know if it was one of Mother's birthday parties, or I remember you being on stage performing that though somewhere.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was like a family setting.
Okay. And it was probably rough draft back then.
Yeah,
that's just it. I test about like you tell stories. Sometimes I might ask. I'm really just testing it out to see if you remember the same thing I remember.
Right. Yes.
You remember different things growing up, and that's the other thing too. The memory, when you want to strengthen bonds, instead of saying you did this to me, you did that to me, you might have to say, "What did you think about this?" or ask them a question, right?
Yeah. But I'm not shocked, Venus, that you do poetry, because one of my earliest memories of our interactions was you would always read to us, always, and it was like this theatrical, always. And I remember it was the chocolate. What was it?
The chocolate factory.
No. Remember, it was about a little boy who ate chocolate. Everything he ate tasted like chocolate. I cannot remember the name of that book. But anyway, it was always you're gonna remember. I'm gonna look it up, but it was always some theatrical, yes. And that's like one of my earliest memories.
Thank you for sharing that, because it's funny what we remember, right? And I don't always remember the same thing. We're not always gonna remember the same things, but man, that day that we was on that bike ride, I won't ever forget that. That's like etched in memory forever.
Yeah.
Just like sliding down the stairs, on the mattress.
That
in our own roller coaster. We were bad kids.
Our church choir by
yes.
minister.
We were actually good kids. We were good kids. We were just creative.
Oh, we always played school. We always just
played school. We played choir. And I would do another poll, but you already heard that because you listened to the show, the one about us acting up in the church.
Yes.
Yes. Collection play, and you singing a little. Get them from me. So, like,
always acting up. Always. That's why I can always relate when comedians. When comedians talk about like always being able to find something funny in church.
Always.
Or a funeral.
I like Kevin on stage. He's so good at bringing it all through.
You said Kevin on stage?
Yeah.
Yes, I love him. He is so funny.
He is so.
But yes, that is a great memory.
That's a good one.
Yeah, always.
And I just, I'm just grateful for the time that we had growing up. It was a good time. We had I remember just dancing in the front yard, music, like Guy, and just keep sweating all the moves.
Right.
Like such a different time.
Yeah.
And then we have those pictures for being at the beach and stuff. So again, bring those pictures to your family reunions on Zoom and show. Sometimes that can help you strengthen a bond. Just showing them an old memory that you still keep.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't even know, but also be open to knowing, and asking each other, what's new with you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we so connected to the old.
Yes,
because we feel like that's all we have.
Mm-hmm.
But it just finding out, what are you celebrating? Asking questions like that. What are you celebrating right now? What are you celebrating, Londa? Because there may be something you're celebrating that I don't know right now.
I'm celebrating the end of a semester. I know.
Okay, yes. Tell us more about graphic design and what's that like, and what are you planning to do with that?
That
feeds your soul. Does it feed your soul, or you?
Creativity itself feeds my soul.
Mm-hmm.
I love all things creative. I think I was telling you earlier, I don't own an instrument. That's probably the only thing. I'm not musically inclined.
Girl, I'm not either, but I got this.
So I've never been driven.
You don't need no training. You just play from the heart.
Girl. I like hearing it though. Yes. See, B, I'm just like.
It's so mellow. It's melodic.
It's like,
It calms me down.
Yeah. But yeah.
I guess I know what to get you for Christmas then.
Oh gosh.
Musical instrument, anything.
Right. But yeah, I'm a lover of all things creative. But yeah, I already do graphic design. I just kind of wanted that. I've always wanted to go to college. So, but I started, I did this Army journey early. So, which was good lessons in itself. Because, as we may know, being in the military is day to day meeting deadlines and meeting, and being present at all times. But definitely was glad I was able, because that's all I've ever done.
Okay.
Was graphic design or some kind of art, or even, I started out in high school. but was always loved my art teachers. I even had an art teacher named Miss Green. Oh my gosh! Shout out to Miss Green. I don't know where she is now. But
and if you all don't know, that's Yolanda's maiden name. She saw herself with the Miss Green.
Yes.
Oh, that's me.
Shout out to her. She was a teacher at Jennings Middle School.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I loved her so much. But yeah, she was definitely a catalyst in like me loving art. But yeah, graphic design is something that I've always this is the only job I've ever had. So
yeah,
I don't even know if I know how to do anything, if I would want to do anything else.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to kind of have that piece of paper, and I want to have the HBCU experience.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
So what? Because you're at an HBCU right now, and if you don't know,
I'm
historically Black college for those who don't know. But go ahead.
Yes. So I'm at a 2-year school right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have 1 semester left, and I'm hoping to be at Howard in the fall of next year.
Oh, we're gonna claim it. That, yes.
That is a goal.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. See, this is what I mean, like getting to know not just the old Yolanda, but the new Yolanda, not the one that was laughing at me when I was knew I was about to get my butt beat, but but the one who is out here, right? Like following her dreams, doing the real thing, and adjusting crowns. Can we talk about you adjusting crowns? Because you know that's your title. I put it out there that you are.
Yes.
You told me that you were the crown adjuster.
Yes, I'm a crown adjuster.
What does that mean, and how does that feed your soul to adjust crowns?
So basically, we all have strong friends, right? Mm-hmm. They always say, check on your strong friends. But usually like, I guess, you know, I have the need to just be like, somebody I'll hear something in a group chat, or they'll say something like, you know, I'm going through something right now. And I'll be like, well, drop that cash up, you know? You know, but it's just, I've always just been taught it's easy just to bless somebody, whether it's $5, $10, $20, whatever, you know. And I had, you know, people are going through a hard time right now. And it's touchy, you know, for friends to ask for support, and especially when that support is monetary. But it's just easier just to say, hey, sis, you know, it's okay. It's all right, you know, and I'm not expecting anything in return, and not just monetary. It could be something as far as, you know, if somebody is feeling low in a sense, or unsure of themselves, it's like, girl, you got this, you know. It's just affirmations. It's affirmation.
It's speaking life for your friends and your family, and your ride or dies, letting them know that
it costs nothing. It costs nothing.
And I love that title. It makes me want to be a crown adjuster. I'm all about, I'm a aspiring shero. I want to be a I feel like I do that too. I do my best to adjust every girl. Just this week, last time I went to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times when I think of a crown adjuster, I think of a queen who is adjusting another queen's crown, because we know what it's like to walk with your head high.
Yeah.
Some people never get there, so they sometimes trying to pull you down. So instead of trying to learn from you or trying to reach out and say, you know, and be humble themselves in, or just be like to check to see if you're a noble queen or not. Because every queen ain't noble. But I love that you are trying to help somebody.
Yes.
But this was a man. He didn't look like royalty. His pants was almost falling down. His mask, we in the same aisle as just me and him in the groceries. I'm looking for some cheesecake mix. because I wanted to honor my mom this Christmas and actually make a cheesecake that she used to make me, right? Because she used to always make me a cheesecake on Christmas and on my birthday, but I've never tried to make one on my own. So this year I said I would do it. So I'm trying to look and find all the ingredients that I thought she made. It's so funny. I don't know if he was an angel or what, because sometimes I think too deeply when I think of a good.
No, I'm there.
I'm trying to check this out. So he turns to me and he don't look like much of nothing, because he's a man of color, but you know, his pants, trying to pull his pants up and his mask up at the same time. You know how some people you see them wearing their nose ain't covered, but it's almost coming off his mouth too. And he was like, hey, you, I see you keeping your head up. I see you he was like, I see you, we here. Like that. I was like, okay. I see you too. I like your energy. He was like, that's right. Because I want you to keep smiling. I want you to keep doing what you doing, you know, because we still here.
Now that's a word.
We coming from with all of this energy, but I said, yes, we are still here. And I said, oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
And he was like, because we didn't have to make it. I said, I know. We really didn't. And I felt that. And I said, you know what? You keep your head up too. And I said, I appreciate you. And he said, I appreciate you. He kept on walking and got back in that line.
I love that. I love those unexpected.
He was speaking life over me, Lon.
Yes, it's kind of like, you know, sometimes you don't even know when your own crown need to be adjusted, right? Because you just be looking like, I'm pretty sure you was just like looking for what you needed to look for.
Look, and I almost called you mama, because sometimes I call the queen's mama. I'm like, look, mama, look. I think what you have to understand about me, I have a resting confused face. I know some people got a resting bee face, as they call it. But I know I have a resting confused face. And sometimes I feel like people are always wondering, does this young lady need direction? No, I'm not as young as I look. But maybe that's what he saw, or like he could have been an earth angel, or he saw me maybe in a spirit of indecision.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wanted to lift me up.
Yeah. Yes. That's amazing. I love when that happens. I love when that happens. I do. I've had some instances like that before, and it's almost like you just affirm what I needed. You really just brought to the forefront of what I really needed to hear. I'm about to make this cheesecake about to be fun.
Yes. It's a magical night even tonight, and I can't wait to step outside.
Can you believe like the stuff that's
go ahead.
There's a lot of turmoil, but there's like also a lot of like spiritual things that are happening.
Yeah, we got to look for the signs.
2020, right? Yeah. And I'm just like, all this stuff that's going on, right? Like the spatial stuff that's going on tonight. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, we haven't seen this in
800 years. Yeah.
I'm
like, whoa, like the Christmas star, like it almost is like that at the light at the end of the dark tunnel. Like it was all
what is it supposed to be telling us?
All divinely planned, like
alignment.
And the alignment of it, like, because today is winter solstice, right? For those who are watching, maybe watching this in the replay, but today is December 21st. It's the winter solstice. And I am your soul sis. Okay. So I'm here to tell you that this is a reminder. Like this only happens every 10 lifetimes. I read where, you got Jupiter aligning with Saturn and then, me given my birth name is Venus. When Christ was born, it was Venus and Mars, it was Venus and Jupiter, I believe, or Venus and Saturn. But the point is that, everybody that we meet in this life, even if like that man that I met in that aisle, I feel like we meet them for a reason, and we cross paths for a reason that we may not know until we dead and gone. Or why? But there's been some things that have happened to me synchronistically. Like the synchronicity of it all, girl, I need to do a whole show on that. Like you would be like, what? And when you say wear that hat that says we been magic, that's really like everybody who's in alignment, everybody who's working on that enlightenment of really like paying attention to the signs. That's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
You know, getting a little bit more prayer, I believe, and a little bit more meditation and mindfulness. I don't know about you, but I've seen some things. Okay, that's why I live. I do my best to live right, and that's what this show is all about.
Yeah.
Okay, because I just want
to. When you've lived, honey.
Shining your lights, because this tonight is about a light and how when you come together, two stars come together, like what we can do together. Even.
Yeah. I think it's amazing what space does. What space and space does, you know, because, you know, we have time, you know, we're not in that hustle and bustle. So they're putting out this information, because any other time I'm like, I ain't got time to be going, you know, you know, I got this or that to do. But it's just kind of like we have time to stop and look at other people, like I did, looking at other people get excited about what's going on outside. I too will go out there and look probably tomorrow if it's still
something happening. And sometimes you may not always see it. And it might be cloudy, but I think even that is a sign for you.
Yeah.
That this year, it's been a dark time for a lot of people. Some of us have turned off our inner light. Sometimes the light has been so dang on, just flickering. Barely. You know, but I got my phrase always divine. It was like rarely divine. And then I had to check myself, right? Like, because I'm not shining no more. That's not okay. And one of the biggest lessons I learned from Lisa Nichols this year was, and she's an amazing a motivational speaker and coach. And she says, when you're the lighthouse don't stop shining. If ain't no boats in the harbor, the lighthouse keeps shining, because that's what it was made to do. Right? And we have to keep that light on, like those stars, because you don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know who's watching, and we're not done yet.
Very true.
So awesome. I'm just grateful for, like you said, the pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yes.
We have permission to pause with the pandemic.
You know, what's crazy is in March, I went into work because I was tired of just being in that space. I had made a decision I was going to take 30 days off from work.
Wow. And
then, not that I'm saying, you know, I had anything to do with this.
None.
You know, but
it's funny because
yeah, but it just goes back to that. Be careful what you ask
for, right?
And so when pandemic hit, I literally had to pull back my 30 days, and I was like, you know what? Let me just be for a second in this moment and be able to just sit and pause. I didn't know the pause was going to be this long, but we don't know the time nor the hour. That's what you know. But I am grateful for this time, because I've been able to take great advantage of that. You know, as far as like my education, I haven't had to be ripping and running from work to school to, you know. But I'm very grateful for this time, you know, because a lot of things probably wouldn't have got done that have gotten done. But I made it a point to okay, because basically I felt like it was like, okay, here's this time, what you gonna do with it? Yeah. You know, What you gonna do? And I was like, this is it. I'm about to take advantage of this. But I'm very grateful for this pause. Because it was much needed.
Yeah,
it was much needed.
I gotta ask you. I have to ask you at least 2 more soul questions. What have you read, seen, or listened to that has shaped your life, maybe as a kid or lately?
What have I read, seen? Let me think. What have I read or seen? Well, I'll say, not to be, biased, Soulful Journey. Soulful Journey is definitely, has definitely been, I've been able to watch your journey, interaction with people, because I know like what a perfectionist you are, right? And I can almost feel like
recovering,
right? Yes. Right when you pop on, it's almost like I cannot wait for her to breathe because then you can just, but
breathe with
the journey is, I'm glad you started this. I'm glad you're doing this. And I know it's helping you a lot to be able to get out your story, and it's awesome. I like it. Yeah, I think so. With journeys,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I love podcasts. I love a lot of. I subscribe to a lot of podcasts, but I definitely It's my way of like, hey, I'm here. You'll see me in the chat. Supporting, cheerleading. That's just my way. That's my way of saying, hey, I'm here. You don't gotta shout me out every time. But it's just like, hey, girl, I see you.
Yeah, and I appreciate
you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing.
What's another podcast that you like, just so people might know who else?
Another one is Getting Grown. I love Getting Grown.
Tell us more about it.
Getting Grown, 2 young ladies, they talk about still growing up, adulthood, and
adulting. Okay.
Yes, adulting is a new.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and they have a good dynamic on there. I like it. One of the ladies, I think one of the ladies here live here in the DC area, and the other young lady, she lives in New York. But they're funny. I like those 2.
Yeah, well, I hope you need to send me some new go-go music too, if they got new go-go music still happening. Because
I don't
never got into go-go. Oh, never mind then.
Go-go music is.
When I think of DC, because
go-go music is better. Go-go music is an experience, right? Just like I think reggae music is an experience for me, and it's better live. I tend to like go-go music live. Like I got to see Chuck Brown before he passed, which, man, I understood when I seen it live. Trust me.
Okay.
But there's some awesome go-go bands out here, still, making moves, and they're so involved in the community, in the DC community. It's an amazing.
Well, how can we keep in touch with you?
Well, I am on Facebook, Yolanda Jett, and I am on Instagram, and my handle is I Define Me. Yeah,
how did you come up with that? I love it. You just defining.
Yes. I Define Me is basically like, this is my space. And I cannot allow you to step into my space and define just by what you see.
That part. Well, what I see is maybe not what everybody else sees. They will find out sooner or later that you are always divine. The trauma adjuster, my family, my friend, my sis, my cousin, one and only Yolanda Jetson. Okay, we jetting. Okay, we jetting.
Jet setting.
Give my love to Brian. It has been such a
Absolutely.
pleasure having this soul chat with you. Man, you are just so beautiful. I am so grateful for your support, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy
Kwanzaa. Happy. The New Year is coming. It's time to hit that reset button.
Yes, all of it. Merry, all of it.
If we haven't already. We've had plenty of time.
Oh, yes. So, well, I'm have to say goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now, Cuzzo. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that is another edition of Soulful Journey. And this has been an amazing edition with the one and only, my favorite yo-yo. Hey! And can't mess with my yo-yo. Okay, don't try to play me out, and don't try to play her out, because she defines her. Okay, and I define me. And I want you to define you. And remember to share and subscribe, leave some comments below. And remember to also keep looking up and keep looking out. Because when you do, there is a lot less fear. There is a lot less doubt. My name is Venus Jones, Venus Love Jones, and I'll see you on the upside.